I'm Lyle Nelson. I'm a boarder. I'm from Gloucester, Massachusetts, and I'm a junior.
I'm Hannah Bird. I'm from Stuart, Florida. I'm a boarder and also a junior.
I'm Molly Connors. I'm a junior day student from Newburyport, Mass.
I'm John Bird. I'm from Merrimack, Massachusetts. I'm a day student, and I'm a junior, and I'm not related to Hannah.
Well, you folks had a pretty interesting extended break. You all went to Kenya for 3 weeks?
4
weeks. Tell us a little bit about what made you interested in applying for this exchange program.
I've never really left the country before, and I just thought this was a really good opportunity for me to see something new and experience something different. And when I applied, I looked at it like I couldn't really lose anything, and it was just it looked like a great experience.
I just saw it as an opportunity to broaden my horizons, and it was something that I had never done before and might not ever get another chance to do again. So I figured I might as well apply.
Same here. I figured this would be a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I mean, I do some traveling, but I doubt my family would ever go to Kenya. So I figured just to experience something different and see a whole new world out there and see what it's like.
I think you learn some of the most important lessons from new experiences, and this was an opportunity for that. So,
when you first arrived, can you talk a little bit about what you first saw when you first went to the schools you were going to be living at?
When we first got there, we got picked up by, there was a bus full of girls from their school, from Kenya High. We were at different schools. We were at Alliance Boys, and they were at Kenya High. And then a teacher, no boys came to pick us up, so the German teacher, who's actually Mr. Ndege, who's at our school now, picked us up and brought us back to the school. And it was kind of cool because we were driving out of the airport. There's a national park right outside the city, and we saw a giraffe, so that was cool.
So then when you arrived at your schools, can you talk a little bit about what the Kenya High School for Girls was like?
Well, originally it was a British etiquette school before Kenya became Kenya and it gained its independence. But when we got there, the girls showed us around. It was a gorgeous campus. It was actually pretty big. There's about 100 girls there, and they gave us a tour of the whole place. They welcomed us with a breakfast, and that was fun. And there's about 12 or so girls who were there, and we just got settled in, went into our dorms, and actually slept for a while after the long plane ride.
What were the dormitories like in comparison to our dormitories you like?
Freshman and sophomore year, they live in rooms with about 50 girls with bunk beds, and then junior year, you can live in a flat with 3 or 4 other girls. And then senior year, you live in a cubicle, which is a small, room, sort of, on your own, which is a real privilege for them to live on their own because they've been used to living with a bunch of other girls in the past. So, a lot different from here.
And the Alliance School, what was it like when you first arrived, and the dormitories, etc.?
The dorms, there's bigger rooms that have a lot of bunk beds in there, so I want to say maybe 20 or more people to a room. And then there were other rooms that had 8 people in a room. And then the prefects and older students, they had rooms with just 2 people. And the school, it was really, really, it was a big change from this school. There were a lot of trees, but they weren't like the trees here. It just looked a lot different. And there's one main academic building, but they had a lot of the classes, and the students, they just stay in the same room all day and the teachers come to them. But there were other smaller classes for the German room was in a different building, and the dining hall was a different building as well. So.
Talk a little bit about what your average academic day was like while you were there.
We would wake up around 5:30 with the girls, and we roomed with Lydia, who's the girl that came on the exchange and is here now. So we would wake up with her, go to breakfast at 6 with all the girls, and it was a sit-down meal for 30 minutes, and then we would go to the classes when they would have study hour until 8 8 o'clock, when the teachers would come. And similar to the boys, we would stay in the same classroom the entire day, and the teachers would come for each period. And usually we would stay in classes until around lunchtime, and then we'd go off and do our own day trips with either meet up with the boys or go into town on our own. And so that was basically what we did every day.
What were some of the day trips that you took in the afternoon?
Nairobi is the capital of Kenya, and it's more built up as a city than any town around there, but still kind of not nothing like New York City or anything. But we would go into there. There's a coffee house called Java that we ate at pretty often. We went to a giraffe center, which is kind of like a zoo there with just giraffes, and then we'd gone around to a couple other parks. I don't know, we kind of just run around. There's a little square market that we went to go have lunch a couple times, or run to the grocery store, and if we'd meet up with the boys, it was usually in Nairobi, or say we'd go over to their school and just kind of hang out, play any sports that were going on that day. Just kind of hang around.
Can you talk a little bit about what similarities you saw in terms of the students you were with and the way their school ran, and some differences?
The academic day is a lot more structured than is here, where they have less free time, very little, and they also did the disciplines a lot different. For instance, there was one student that stole some shirts, and they made him sit in his knees out in the sun for I don't know how a few hours, just sit there and holding a sign that said "I'm a thief" or something in Swahili, and all the students would just like walk by and laugh at him. And then there was also a lot of manual labor for punishing. So it was a lot more strict, I guess, than here. I don't know.
So I guess to add to that, their day is a lot longer than ours. Their school day, they go from, like we said, when we woke up at 5:30, most of the girls wake up between 4 and 5, and they go to their classes basically until 9 o'clock at night when they're done with their last study hall. And they only have a half hour for lunch and about 2 hours off in the afternoon before dinner, and then going back to class. And their teacher and student relationships are very different. They don't really talk to their teachers very often like we do. We have close relationships with ours, but they don't at all. It's basically the teacher comes into the classroom for 45 minutes, says what she needs to say, and they leave, and they're back to doing more work. And so the classrooms are a lot larger than definitely that they are here, and so it's kind of interesting to see how that process is, like Lyle said, more strict, and their rules are very, very also strict. They're like, the girls aren't allowed to leave campus very often, and it was just it was a really different feeling about that. But
I know you all had to wear uniforms there, right?
Yeah.
So you didn't get a chance really to see what they thought about fashion or pop culture or anything. Did the kids talk at all about pop culture? Are they aware of Western pop culture, or did they share with you what their music and dance?
Yeah. Well, I mean, surprisingly, I know I hadn't expected it, but they knew all the same music artists that we did, and they knew all the same movies, and which was really surprising. But that was something we could bond on, and they actually did have a lot of similarities to us, and it was nice to just be with them and talk to them and get a feel for their lives. And as different as they are, a lot of the things are the same.